Hey everyone! Renara here to give all you lovely listeners and viewers a quick trigger warning before we get into today's intro. This intro contains a scene which includes both physical torture and sounds of extreme distress. If this is something that affects you, please either mute the stream or come back in/skip ahead to 10 minutes and 15 seconds. This will be when the intro finishes. For those who are staying on stream, I will give a thumbs up on camera to let you know live when it has passed. For the rest of you, welcome to the latest installment of The Legend of Cold Read.
You won't keep this up forever, you know. You will give up their secrets. Even if I have to pry them out of you one piece at a time.
You think so? The last person who caused me this much pain had to buy me dinner first.
I'll ask as many times as it takes. Let's start again. You've known Grimm for a long time. You've seen his good days and his bad days. It's those bad days that I'm interested in. You've seen him at his lowest moments. Tell me, what are those like? Seeing your closest friend fall apart. I'm sure they are quite a spectacle.
Him? At his lowest moments? All I can say is that he's good on his knees. But three's a crowd, dear.
As if you and him have ever
Well, I'm sure I get more action than you do anyway.
Silence! I will cut the information out of you.
What happened to you, Raven? How did we get to this point?
You left me to die! Where were you when I needed you? Where was Cold Read when I needed it most? You all left me to die. And Grimm didn't even bother finding my soul.
Cold Read was dying. We all would have died if we hadn't kept fighting. We all knew the risks going into that fight. Those two wanderers from what seems like the start of all of this, they didn't survive either. Countless souls were lost that day, and yet, as the fates would have it, you came back, with your mind still intact. So why didn't you come back to us?
You're meant to be torturing her, not the other way around.
Oh, shut up, you floating windbag. I would have gotten somewhere if you hadn't interrupted.
Oh, I doubt that very much.
Gentlemen, please. There's enough of me to go around.
Is that so? That mouth of yours will get you in trouble if you're not careful. I wonder, what would happen if I take away your ability to talk? How would that affect you? Interesting. And now? You've been here for months now. Where is Grimm? Why has he not come for you, his greatest friend and confidant? He left your soul here to rot, exactly like he did with you, Raven, and Matt. Matt needed guidance, something you claim ColdRead strives to give. Yet you all decided to destroy him. Raven brought him back, not you, not Grim. Raven. Once is luck. Twice is a coincidence. Thrice is a pattern. He left you here with us, and yet you defend him still? Why is that?
You do realize we're a team, right? Zamoody, Eldurrino, Grim, and Pashley, wherever the fuck she is. We aren't joined at the hip, sure, but we encourage individuality!
So you're all fractured, disconnected. The unity you promise is a lie.
You know that's not what I meant!
Do I? Does anyone? Are you so sure that the so-called dream you have built is anything more than a cult of disappointment and disarray?
The ColdRead Council will rise to meet any challenge, and they will fight it together!
Oh, really? Come, Raven. We're done here.
What do you mean? Why?
We have everything we came for.
No, stop! Wait, no! What have I done?
Oh, fuck. Owie. This is not what I signed up for. Owie.
What in the God's name is...
Right. No broken spirit bones. Check. Slightly damaged pride. Also check. Magical iron shackles holding you in place. Ooh, soon to be not so check.
Who are you?
Da-da-da! Little Miss Nix, at your service. Well, here to help anyway. We gotta get you back to ColdRead, Missy. I know they've been worried sick about you.
What? We?
Well, me and my partner. She's downstairs, causing a distraction. So I can do stuff like this.
How did you...
Save the questions for after our grand escape, okay? We've got an adventure to go on.
Do you have a plan?
Of course I do.
Are you sure? Because from where I'm standing, the only way out of this room is through the door those two just walked through.
Well, there's always... Crap. You can't fly like I can. My brain didn't account for your lack of y-axis. Wait. Well, through the door it is then.
Are you crazy?
Well, you've got magic, don't you?
Yes, but it's quite depleted right now.
Fine.
What is that? It smells musty.
I'll have you know it's pixie dust. And no, it cannot make you fly. Please do not try. You'll have to use your own magic for that. So, now what? Do we take the window or the...
The wall.
I'm sorry, what?
The wall.
Whew.
All sorted.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
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 I'm going to give everybody a minute to A, come back, and
Yeah,
B, take
it's
a
all
breath.
Sorted. All sorted.
That was lovely.
Oh my
The
goodness.
last part, at least. The last part was lovely.
I had a vision. I've had that bit in my mind since like the start of like season 3, and I was like, I gotta get everyone else in first, and I was like, no, I gotta do this. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Do you have some thank yous that you want to say before?
I have
Okay.
some wonderful thank yous. First to wonderful Shikara Weeple. If I can say her last name right.
Rival.
Who is darling Miss Nix, who is our wonderful little fairy savior, shall we say. Mr. Dave Swanson, who came to reprise his role as the wonderful Wraith. I cannot wait for the Grimm versus Wraith showdown. It's going to be amazing. And of course, the wonderful, illustrious, award-winning Ravenmane reprised his role today. And I'm so glad he said he would. Because it was a minute of like, hey, do you want to? Like, you don't have to if you're too busy. And he was like, nope, I'm in. Yep, that's fine. So they were all fabulous.
Absolutely. Best intro so far, I wanted to say. For those of you that are here, welcome to Cold Read the Podcast. This is a podcast for voice actors by voice actors. Thank you for those that are here. I see a lot of people are tuning in. We'll talk about possibly why that at Ravenmane, the cleanest tenor. Wow. Also, we have Pashley in the audience today, which is a rare occurrence. Thank you, Pashley, for coming in.
What a day to come in on.
She's excited for something, I think. I'm not sure what.
Thanks for catching us live for those of you that are here on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for watching the rerun or anywhere that you get your podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We absolutely 100% appreciate it. Again, wonderful intro was made by Renara Hawke. And the saga of Cold Read continues. I love this. I want to see where this is going to continue to go. But as we do with every show, let's check in with everybody. So let's start with our very, very creative and wonderful producer here, Renara Hawke.
I mean, most of my week has been doing that intro, to be quite fair. That one was I think it's actually one of the most Foley intensive I've had to do in a while. So I'm getting back into the swing of that. On the side of voice acting things, not much at the minute. The commercial one that I was trying to get not fell through. They just picked somebody else. The creative director of the project decided to go with somebody else, but they really liked what I did, and they said they wanted to keep my info, which is always great. So there's that. But other than that, I think I'm just sort of that week was just full on intensive for the intro, to be quite fair.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I am now going to chill a little bit.
Well deserved. A whole month off before the next one. So yeah, good to have you. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
Misty, how are you doing this week?
So in terms of voice acting, not much, unfortunately, just because it's been a whole week sort of with real life stressors in my brain, preparing myself for for yesterday, which is always a tough day. And well, I got through it. I'm okay. And at least this week, I hope will be a little better. It's just worrying about a lot of things.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything gets along and gets better for you.
Hope so. It's a big change at my job this week too, so it's like I hope everything goes well, and yeah, it's just I'll be back on the voice acting trade soon enough.
Cool. Well, we can't wait. Hopefully something good comes along and brightens your week, please.
Oh, hope so.
Eldurrino, how's your week been?
Boring, I guess. Same thing. Not really had any voice acting stuff, minus my TikTok.
Yes.
That has kind of started taking off.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Good.
Which I'm happy about, but at the same time, like I don't know. It's a shtick that I don't necessarily want to continue forever. The shtick being, if any of our listeners play Destiny 2, I do a pretty bang-on impersonation of Drifter, and so I have decided to coin myself as Grifter instead, reading material from the Transmat Firing subreddit, which is just a place where people come up with silly things that they think the Drifter would say, and so basically I read them, I post them on my TikTok for them to enjoy. But yeah, no, it's been kind of taken off a little bit.
Good.
I'm probably like short of 30 followers, but that's over the course of like a week. So the more I do it, the more I post, I'm sure the more success I'll see there. So yeah, so that has been very fun. Otherwise, I am still in the process of trying to research stuff for my next series, and the book that I got was boring as hell. So I brought that back to the library and decided I'm going to just research it on the internet instead.
Good call.
So yeah, doing that, and playing a lot, and uncomfortably lots of time spent in Genshin Impact this week, where my wonderful girlfriend has given me her gambling luck and helped me roll some pretty awesome characters. So thanks, Meg.
Lucky
Much
duck.
appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she rolled for me yesterday. We went to the drive-in and we saw The Lost City, as well as the new Scream, which, if you're a fan of Scream, go see this latest one.
I liked it.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
All right.
I had a good time with it.
Yeah, so so we were just waiting for the movie to start, and she did my rolls for me and got me some sick stuff. So it was super fun. Yeah, that's I think that's about it, really. Otherwise, just work being ridiculous, because for some reason, as of March, everyone just decided that their problems are more important than anybody else's, and they're extremely needy. So
Yeah.
Yep, that's where we're at.
Oh, cool. Well, welcome, Eldurrino. Sorry you're having all those issues at work, but yeah, I share your feeling. I know what you mean. So, as far as me, my plan for my vacation got completely derailed because, as I mentioned last week, my car went out of commission. So it pretty much ate up my week to try to fix it, to figure out what we can do. Ultimately, I sold my car yesterday, or what was left of my car. So I no longer have a car, and now here I am, and we're going to be a one-car family for a while. By the way, if you're hearing barking, that is my wife arriving, because she is going to be present for the other thing that's happening.
Your wife is barking?
No. If you hear the barking, it's because my wife is arriving. Sorry. Arriving. Because she is here to see the end of the bet. It is April 3rd. So at 1 p.m., the shaving will take place, and I'm going to try a couple of things before to see if I can see what kind of beard she was envisioning for me to have before all of this grew out. So
I hope it's mutton chops. I would love to see that.
So you think there might still be some
Just get like a
No.
goatee. Just have a goatee.
No.
Oh yeah, you could just do the long string and then like braid it like a Viking.
The bet was clean shaven for a week, and then I can play with it. So next Sunday I'll be able to start growing stuff out. So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's the story. That's how my week has been. And again, I apologize for the animals going nuts in the background. But we wanted to move into our segment, which is going to be listening to some voice reels today and giving our opinions. So the concept here is I want everybody to get comfortable with what we do, so you can hear our feedback and hopefully submit some audio for us to listen to. So we're going to take some people. Yeah, we don't bite. We're going to listen to some people that have put some up in Reddit, some people that have put some up on Twitter, and take that opportunity. So Let me find somebody real quick.
All right.
I think it should be said that if you want to submit any audio to us, you can do so at coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can find us on Twitter @coldactor. And we promise we're very nice. We do give constructive criticism, but it's nothing personal. It is simply our opinions or views on what you are presenting us and what we're going to give back to you. So if you ever, if there's ever something that you hear us say that you think is mean, please bring it to our attention. We don't ever want to be mean. We're simply just trying to help you improve because we expect the same out of you. If you don't like what we have, tell us, please, in a nice way, of course, constructive. But
Absolutely.
Constructive criticism. Don't be scared. It's okay. We'll be nice to you.
Little technical note. I think that AC is coming through a little bit more misty, so
Yeah.
just an FYI.
Yeah, muting when it's not talking.
That's fine. We're actually going to take the first one, and it's funny because we're about to put this out, and I saw somebody on our Discord promoting their newest VA commercial demo. So let's listen to Connor Howard's.
Oh, yeah.
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 All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Krispy Kreme donuts are all about balance. If you eat 20 in a row, that would be bad. But if you've never tasted a delicious, fluffy, original glazed hot off the line and you get struck by lightning, that would be bad. Really, really bad. What goes in the ocean goes in you. Studies estimate that fish off the West Coast ingest over 12,000 tons of plastic a year. Help turn the tide on plastic pollution at surfrider.org. Fanning your face with a magazine is helpful when it's hot, but a train would never just cool your face and say, "Too bad, so sad," to the rest of your body. It would have your back, front, and everything else. And that's pretty cool. The right people, the right technology, the right strategy. Here to help you hit your fleet performance target. Merchants Fleet Management. Always settle for better. Drink a pound of fruit, do more of what you love. Naked Juice has more than enough good stuff to keep you going. So go get them. Naked, worth its weight in good. The shoe works when you work. Stop dreaming. Start working. Nike.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
I usually start off mostly saying that I still feel like I would have liked his voice to have been more front and center. I felt like some of the audio may have overpowered that particular voice, but all in all, I think the performance was good.
I think his last 3 were his strongest, especially for commercial side of things, because a lot of the feedback I got from mine is less character, more just sort of like, I don't know. Yeah, Neil keeps telling me less character, more just normal you, if that makes sense. And I think his first 3 definitely felt more like sort of low gravel adventurer was trying to sell you something rather than just a conversational person trying to explain something to you, which is why I say definitely the fleet, not Fleetwood, or the fleet something one that he did, I think was the strongest out of all of them, but it was definitely more of the first ones were more character, the last ones were more neutral but human, which I think is what they're looking for in commercial at the very least, from what I've experienced.
I tend to agree. According to what I've seen, just basis on voices.com and their auditions, it always says more neutral, normal speaking voice, like you're talking to your friend.
Yeah, conversational.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that point. I feel like the first 3 were very similar. The cadences were all correct, I will say.
Yeah.
Those were spot on. It's just, the voice was, I don't know, kind of David Attenborough type of voice, and while that's not necessarily a bad thing, like for the Krispy Kreme one, I don't really feel like that voice necessarily fit into that type of advertisement. I mean, again, that's all up to personal opinion, so that's just me saying how I feel about it. But yeah, the last three I think were perfect, just the way that they were. The Foley was a little loud, but I don't really feel like it overpowered the voice necessarily. So in the future, Connor, if you ever want to, redo a commercial reel or update it or whatnot, maybe try to bring a little bit more variety in your voice. I know in speaking to you that your voice is very similar to mine. In that, it's kind of low, it's got a little bit of that roughness to it. But don't be afraid to experiment with that. I'm always a big proponent of, experimenting with your voice and seeing what you can do with it, because having range is such a great asset. And I feel like, you could even include something that's a little bit more excited. Like you hear gym commercials, those are always very excited, like, come on down to Planet Fitness today, like just kind of all over the place as far as your tone goes. So yeah, my advice to take away from this is don't be afraid to experiment with your voice and try something new.
Like the Nike one could have probably been a little bit more, because it's more of an athletic brand and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just going to add also for the first three, including with the experimenting, I think the main reason it sounds so much like a character is because it's all in that lower gravelly voice, which I know he's comfortable with. So perhaps shoving it up just a little bit to mid-range might elevate them to a point where it feels more conversational, I think, or at the very least it might work. Experiment.
Well, and there's been sessions that I've done with Renara where we were trying to do that. We were trying to expand range and even do some things with your voice that you didn't think you could do, like adding that raspiness to it. Yeah. And hey, it's working.
Good.
Just a sidebar. So I learned this from a like vocal YouTube teacher who teaches more harsh vocals, but this one I feel helps with increasing your range. Where if you think about yourself in a situation where you're a young child and your older brother or sister is just being a massive nuisance to you, think about how you would respond to that. And I'm trying not to be too loud here, but in that example, he says something along the lines of, "I told you to stop." And you can tell that on the word stop, my range is going higher, and you can really kind of force that to go even higher. And once you start realizing how expansive your range can be, you can really start to work that into your performances, even for commercial reels, because yes, it's great to be able to, sell Fireball whiskey to the adults, but you can also, utilize that for, children's toys commercials, something that's very high energy, very excited, and it's generally going to be in that like mid to upper range. So again, don't be afraid to experiment with your range and see what you can do.
Cool. Misty?
At least for me, this is just in general for commercial demos. I personally don't feel that commercials should have as many effects, but I think mostly if background music is sure, you can definitely have that, but extra things, not as much in commercials, at least from what I've experienced listening to radio and TV, mainly for TV, I'd say, but that's more the video aspect itself, because there's a whole visual representation of it. But I feel there's less of an emphasis on the effects in a commercial demo rather than a character demo, and that may overtake the actual performance. And I do definitely agree that it's more centered. That's something that I learned in a class I took, that it's changed. The way commercials are done has changed over time drastically, to where now it really is just someone just speaking to you. Depending on what is being sold, they may emphasize certain things, or they may change their tone, but it's really just normal. Sounds like someone normal just selling you something. And but I do think that this demo did highlight all those different types of commercials very well. You have something energetic, something more soothing, like the environmental one, where it's more like take this seriously. It's to sort of empathy and like to get people to be like, you should really do something about this. Just a normal sort of read. And then something a little bit more serious, like just I feel like it did really well. All those little emotions and all those sort of ranges were there. But the last few for sure were like the ones that I feel were more like what I would typically hear for like commercials.
I will say, just in regards to your comment about the use of Foley or background music in this, you are right. In a commercial sense, you generally don't use a lot of sound effects. However, it is necessary for setting the scene. You know, you can simply state, you know, like, come on down to whatever and purchase this product for whatever price. And you could, you know, put as much character as you wanted into it or make it very conversational. But in the end, without that kind of like background, no one's going to really like fully be enveloped by what you're trying to do. So yeah, in a TV sense, yes, you would simply just be reading from a script and then everything would be done in post. But for like radio commercials, internet audio commercials, that's kind of necessary.
I'd like to add that I don't think it's always necessary, but in regards to I think the only place I think I can see it not being absolutely necessary is when you've got online learning videos or e-learning things, which they do lump into commercial half the time. And the ones that it's because they lump it in, at the very least in England, it's the same sort of, if it's a online service or something like that, they'll have a conversational video talking about maybe mental health if it's a mental health service, so it kind of tots the line a little bit. So I'd say that more often than not you are correct, but there are some yes, I think so. My brain has done that thing where it's completely forgotten what we were just talking about. And now I've gone down a hill.
The use of sound effects or Foley in a commercial. Yeah,
they are not. I can't remember what I just said, and I've had a stress reaction. This is interesting. Okay, ignoring everything.
Oh, this is the wrong one.
This
is what I meant to hit.
There we go. Just to explain what just happened there, my memory does these things where it will do a sudden thing of, nope, you're not going to remember that now, and completely blanks the last 30 seconds of what I was talking about.
You're fine.
I do a thing where I'm planning out the whole thing I'm about to say, and then as soon as I speak, I'm like,
I think to sum that up, Foley isn't. I don't know what I was saying. I can't remember what I was saying.
You're fine.
Hide in a hole now.
No, you're fine. Gosh, don't worry about it. Oh, I don't just time out when it comes to those, Eldurrino. Don't be afraid to just.
No, they're gone.
Yeah. I think I got them. A couple things. First off, thank you, Burnham. Welcome, Burnham. Welcome, Marley, Pavel, and welcome, Bread Latte. Burnham says, yeah. If I think of older, dated radio commercials, I tend to think of them being character acting, which is, yeah, absolutely. That's how everything used to be back in the day. Right. And Bread Latte, thanks for the sub. Okay, very cool. Connor, hopefully that helps. We will reach out and make sure that Connor watches the segment, and we will move on. Now, if everybody would tune in to the screen that I am sharing.
Okay.
Where's one? Okay. So, this is Mr. Gordon Ellis, who was looking for feedback on Reddit. This is under r/voice acting. Hold on. Let me make sure that I am. Okay. Everybody should be able to hear this. 3, 2, 1. Wait, why is it?
I've never really considered myself to be the talented type. I've always just been sort of, above average. Never the best. I'll have you know, I've been at this for 3 weeks. If I don't accomplish something, the boss is going to kill me. Hey, Samantha. About last week, I wanted to apologize.
That's right. I still count on my fingers. Oh, 1, 2, 3.
All right, listen. If you want my personal advice, stay away from him. He's nothing but bad news. Oh, heavens to Betsy! Oh, and the nail's rusted too. Oh, let's see here. Do I have my tetanus shot? Hey, you wouldn't mind helping me out, right? Listen, I got myself wrapped up in a whole lot of business that I didn't mean to. Are you in or not? You know, I never really took you to be the studious type. And here you stand before me, valedictorian of the school. Most impressive. I will remember your name. And I will shout it to the heavens. Hey, now I know my microphone quality isn't the best, but please do consider me. I'd greatly appreciate it.
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. So, first thing, room treatment.
Yes.
Immediately, as soon as this thing started, I could immediately tell you were in an empty room with nothing to absorb sound. The sound waves that come from your voice are going to reverb off the walls and go back into your mic, and it's going to create an echo or a reverb. So, highly recommend sorting that out first and foremost before you do anything. You can simply move your setup into a closet. If you have a bunch of clothes hanging in a closet, you can also purchase sound foam like you see next to me or behind Renara. Anything you can do to make that difference, that is probably going to make the largest amount of improvement. Secondly, this is an instance in which the Foley was too much. It was too loud. It was too in your face. And that's it. It was just, it was very jarring compared to the voice. Like in a reel, you want to exemplify your voice, and the background music or the Foley is just they're just there to help set the scene. So tone that down just a little bit.
It feels like he used the Foley to explain what was going on, or relied on it to explain what certain scenes were. I think, well, being British, I thoroughly enjoyed that very posh British accent. It was funny. It caught my attention, and it got me to listen a lot more towards the end of it. I think if you're going to have something like that, I think put it closer to the beginning. I think to grab someone's attention at the very least, or something like, for me, I put my small character, small animal one quite close to the front because I knew it was a funny voice to help out, and I think that would be really good in swapping that around. I think the voices the characters are there. I just think if you reshifted the order a bit, you'd get more engagement, I feel. I think the first one seemed very samey, and I think there could have been more to expand with, I think, well, quite a few of them. But if you take some of you don't want samey ones sounding next to each other. You want to have it as different as possible. And just by changing up the order, they're very quick fire. So someone who's listening to it might forget that there's one that's sounding similar near the end and then near the beginning. So it tricks the brain that way. So have it kind of, very, very... what I'm doing is I'm miming how I can see it going, and it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. That way it keeps the listener engaged, I think.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that leads me to my third point. In my opinion, and this is up for debate, but in my opinion, there was far too many different short segments in there.
Okay.
That was mine.
That's what I was going to say.
Generally, and again, this is subject for debate, but generally, we try to limit them to 5 to 7 different characters. Usually 5.
5 to 6, I was going to say.
Depending on, like, how long you want to make your reel. 10 to 15 second segments usually is a good thing, because not only does it give you ample time to show you what you can do with a voice, it's not so long that it's going to bore the listener, and it's not too short that the listener doesn't get a chance to appreciate what you're trying to do with it. So I would say out of all of those that you threw in there, definitely just pick out the ones that you feel like you are the best at, and make them a bit longer, and then put them all back together. And like Renara was saying, you know, there is some in there that do sound very similar. So maybe, you know, find the similar ones, choose the one out of that group, and then roll with that one. And then when you come to compile everything later on, then yes, try to separate them so that the ones that may sound similar in some way aren't squished together. And my last thing is, please drop the "please consider me" part at the end of your reel. That does not belong there. And when you if you were to submit this reel for consideration for literally anything, they are going to, if they get to that point in your reel, they are going to know whether or not they want to proceed with you. Do not add that in there because it sounds like a cry for attention or desperation, and it's going to ruin your chances of getting something. So just completely drop that.
Before we check in with Misty, Burnham did say, not a fan of the "sorry, my mic isn't great, please consider me anyway." It's a step away from not very good. Sorry for wasting your time. I 100% agree. Misty, any point? Other than everything that Eldurrino has already pointed out.
I'm sorry.
It's my brain going again. Just okay. So that little thing. I get why he did that. I think that if he was like completely confident in his audio quality, he would not have put that in there. But it was because he felt that he needed to sort of mention, I am aware that there's a problem here, but also it's basically what Eldurrino said at the beginning. It's not just about mic quality. So if you could put the best of your efforts into making it at least sound better, it doesn't even matter whether you have a mic that's like very cheap or very even like a USB mic. You can still make it work for some things. It's just about trying your best to find something that can help. Sometimes people even put a literal blanket over themselves. I did that for a bit. Anything can help, especially since this is your demo, so it's going to give people the idea this is how you're going to present yourself for all your projects. This is the kind of quality they will expect. And what it may lead people to think is, I'm not sure if they have improved since then, or are they willing to try to make it sound a little better. But just as long as you make those small improvements, that would really help. And I did notice that some of those snippets were extremely short, like only like 1 or 2 lines, and that could cause like someone listening to it, they will forget some of those, and they won't really, they'll be like, wait, which were the ones that he can do? I think some of those stand out. The ones that are more character, the ones where he really changes his voice, those stand out the most. And I think honestly, you could do one where it sounds more like your normal voice. You could even start with that one, and then you can go into like the characters that you feel most confident in, because if you stretch them out a little bit, it will be more memorable to someone listening, and they'll know what you can do. You don't have to show them everything, just the best that you can do.
Love it.
Absolutely.
I was just going to add a small thing of, it does sound like, I presume this might be his first sort of demo. And it sounds very much like this is all, it's all been just him. He's made this himself with what he can do. It may be worth not like asking on Twitter for people, because when I did mine, it was, I looked for somebody to help me with the script. I felt I could direct it myself, so I left that to me, and then I outsourced for the editing, because sometimes having somebody else involved in making that can give you that external, unbiased perspective to help you push yourself to get even better. So whilst sometimes it might cost you a bit of money, it is worth it in the long term because you're investing in yourself. This is your greeting card. This is the first thing people are going to see when you give it out. So investing in it is worth it, because then you might bring in more jobs with it, basically. So having external people like us to help maybe like give some pointers and things like that, and to help sort of make you think along different directions. Hell, you might come up with a voice during that collaborative process or that you didn't think of at all to start with, and that could end up in your wheelhouse, and then you've expanded your range. voice acting is a collaborative, acting in itself is a collaborative process, and it's something I think all of us have had to come to terms with and learn is we can't do it on our own. You can't do it on your own. So do not be afraid. The Twitter community is actually really lovely. Just take that step and ask people for help. I'm sure we can recommend a load of people to help with anything that you might need. So don't be afraid to take that step and talk and ask people.
Cool.
And that's why I haven't actually done mine, because I've been waiting for the opportunity to invest. And well, because I need someone. I know that I need that help so I can get something that I'm proud of. So that's why I've been waiting and putting it off, because I really want to pay someone for their time to help me out with that. So
I would like to say that I am available for hire.
As am I for directing.
I will also please note that if anybody is available, feel free to email us at coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com. I'll be happy to forward it over to Misty for you. You guys have been very, very thorough when it comes to, because it was very busy, 100%.
We're more experienced. We are more experienced voice actors,
Absolutely.
and therefore we know what to look for.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say it was very busy. I was gonna say the room treatment, very cool. The way to put the begin, because there's a beginning and there's an end where the person's kind of like, hey, hi, this is me, blah blah blah. I don't believe in slating at the beginning of your voice reel demo, because you've already given your information. They already know who they're looking at. The other part where it's like, I know I'm not so good. The analogy I've always seen it as like, you call a plumber to fix a plumbing problem, and the plumber comes in and goes, I don't know, but I'll give it a shot. Is that somebody that you're going to want to hire?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my notes for that. So very cool. Any final notes before we move on?
Don't be discouraged.
No,
It's
not at all.
okay.
Not at all. This is for your first demo, produced by yourself.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, the good thing is you didn't invest. Hopefully, if this was done by you, you didn't actually invest any money into this. So you will have, once you get the know-how, the experience, and more room treatment, you will be able to put in something that's way better, and you'll be way more proud of it.
It sounds like he knows what he's good at. He's put in as many as he can to try and show his range, and that's always a good thing. To know what you can do.
Yes.
It's like the first sort of rule of voice acting. Once you've got that in your brain, the rest of it comes after that. So
yeah, pick 5 to 6, expand on them, make sure that they're the different ones. And Renara liked the posh one, so stick with that one still in there.
it just made me laugh.
Oh heavens me!
All right.
Oh great heavens!
Speaking of English individuals, Renara recommended us to listen to another one, so we will be listening to Miss Elizabeth Plant next. And here we go.
The stone is what I'm here for. You know it's rightfully mine. Keeping it hidden from me any longer is only going to bring harm to everyone in the kingdom. Where is the stone?
You're blind if you think I'd ever give it to you.
Fool! Whoa!
I'm so sorry. I've never used my magic before.
That's okay. Just try and aim for the target next time.
I will. Sorry.
This is a sun petal flower from the trail to High Hrothgar all that time ago. I told you I thought they were beautiful. I can't believe you remembered.
Anything to see you smile like that. You're too good to me. I'm not good enough. Never for you.
You'll not spread your foul curse to this land, demon. I shall see to it.
You know not what you speak of, mortal. Feel the poison under your skin. Now, obey me.
Danny and I are dating now. Isn't it great?
finally official. I mean, you know, it was on and off a lot of first year, but once someone came around, I don't know, something just really clicked and we decided, well, I decided, why not? I asked if he wanted to be an actual thing and, oh, it was so cute. He got so flustered that he didn't respond for a couple of days. I mean, he said he was thinking about it, but, you know, from Danny, that just means he's trying to play it cool, but in reality, he's just being shy like always.
Oh, come now, my love. You really think you're strong enough to do it? If you really think our love will keep you safe from your end, then you are sadly mistaken!
Together, we look up at the night, at all the stars. I blink, and all the sky is new. Constellations beyond imagining, more stars than time can hold. Some so close. They're massive.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Who wants to go
listened the whole
first?
of that. Oh my god.
Renara?
I'm a fan. I would book her in an instant. My God, sorry. Woman after my own heart. No, first off, I think it's interesting to see that she's done duos for each scene. She's put herself twice in each scene, and I think that's a cool way of showing range, actually. What I will say is that in some of them, she bleeds from posh to Buckinghamshire and back again, especially in the one where it's she's talking about Danny and all that jazz. She's obviously done this one after the other, and you can hear the over-exaggerated posh bits that peek through every now and again, that kind of, because I'm English, I know the difference.
Yeah.
And I think for that one, I think she should have toned away from the posh and pushed it more to sort of a very more relaxed way of speaking, and rather than like a more glottal stop sort of way of speaking, like to show that there is variation there. She's already shown she can do another accent. I am a fan. The fact she put a Skyrim one in there. Yeah. I'm just excited to hear another British VA who thinks along a similar line of me. So we're there. I think there should be more variation in the types of scenes she's done. They are all fantasy based, and whilst I absolutely love that, it'd be really cool to hear like a sci-fi one maybe, or something a bit more slice of lifey, rather other than the whole talking at a coffee shop, but sort of maybe at home, at work, or maybe even perhaps, I'm trying to think of another one. Like we said sci-fi, I'm trying to think of another sort of genre, maybe horror, or just to break that monotony of the same sort of thing. Okay. Because that voice can work in horror, in every other genre. I think if you keep just the fact that there's so many fantasy ones, one after the other, they do start to become, again, sort of samey. Like I can't pick which one I would pick out as being the standout fantasy one. That I can remember the cafe one, because that one was so different. But I think I'm not sure if she's over-exaggerating the posh way of speaking, because it does sound slightly forced, like she's overdoing it a little bit. So I think bring it back, bring the over-exaggerating Queen speech English down to a bit more received pronunciation, so you are enunciating every vowel and consonant, but you're not overdoing it and stressing your mouth quite a lot. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love the fact she's put some accent work in there. I think if there are any more in her wheelhouse, she should definitely make them known, because I know for character work they like that. I think that's it from me at the minute.
Before we go to Eldurrino, Misty.
I think that you know what? I'm sorry.
I know.
I think that while it definitely showed a lot of range, I feel like they were the same characters throughout, and it could help, like if you put in different scenarios, different sort of genres in there. It could help to show the different kinds of characters you can play, along with just the tone and your range. But I did really appreciate it. I thought she did a really good job. I think the Foley, like the sounds were like it was good to where I could hear her the whole time, and I didn't feel like it overtook anything. There was something that I was thinking of. Oh, that the part where she included like two people in a scene, she was playing both. I do really love that. It's different. It's another kind of demo I haven't heard before, because there was another one I heard where it was one scene, just one entire thing, and it was the story progression, and she played every character, and they all interacted with each other, and it was introducing more characters in the scene, and it was her. It was really, really cool when I heard that.
Yeah.
And this is a different sort of way to do it, and I think it was really well done.
Agreed. Eldurrino?
I disagree.
Ooh.
And I'm not like.
No, it's good. It's good.
I'm not trying to like start drama necessarily, but I feel like when you have, you know, these scenes of two characters that you are playing, it's difficult for certain listeners, such as myself, to differentiate which character is which. The first one was there was a clear distinction. I could definitely tell which one was the villain and which one was the hero. When it came to like the Raven Main's trying to taunt me in chat, saying like drama discourse. The Elder Scrolls one, there's two characters that were evident in that scene. I could not tell which one was which. They both had the same accent and the same tone of voice, and I don't know. It's hard for me to say because again, this is like everyone else. This is probably the first time I've heard someone in their demo reel have scenes with two people that they are playing. So maybe it's just something I'm not used to. And I will gladly admit if I am mistaken or wrong, but I don't necessarily feel like, I don't feel like you should necessarily have like an entire scene. It should just be like I'm trying to think of a good comparison for this, like a 15-second radio commercial, essentially. You know, it's one person speaking most of the time. It's very rare that in a 15-second radio commercial you'll have more than one voice in there. It's just, hey, here's who I am, here's what I'm here to do, I'm gonna do it now. You know, like you want that one single voice in there, and I don't know. It's again hard for me to say because this is the first time I've been experienced with this, but yeah, that's just how I feel about it. And then secondly, Foley, this may not pertain to you because if you did not edit your reel yourself, that's fine. But I will say there was a few sounds in there that were very, very sharp to the ears. In particular, the sword clash at the very end. Yeah. There was a lot of the high frequencies that were left in there, and that will hurt the ears. I would say if you edit it yourself, try and cut out a little bit of the like 200K frequencies, drop those down a little bit to kind of round it off, and that might help with that a little bit. Otherwise, as far as the range of your voices go, phenomenal. I can't speak on the accent work because I can't do a British accent to save my fucking life. But the range in your voices was certainly there, and that is definitely the biggest thing that I took away from it. Like if I were to want to cast you for a project, I would say she has a huge wheelhouse of things that she can do. You know, that's the note I'm gonna leave next to it. But yeah.
I will say I like the concept of having the two voices, although I did have a bit of a problem distinguishing the two. I think if you're going to do that, definitely play with your voice more. If you're doing the male side or other side, do it a little deeper. Or if you're doing, you know, just give me something more to grasp on in between. I will also note the same thing that's already been said before. You had too many of the same thing on top of each other. It was a lot of fantasy. It was a lot of fantasy and like this little itty bitty real life thing. I'd love to see something completely new. As far as the pacing, I love the little 2 seconds in between each voice. I liked it gave me time to digest. It gave me time to listen to and to do all of that. So that is my notes on that.
I think I just want to add one tiny thing of maybe there might have been too many two pairing scenes. Perhaps if she breaks it up with a 2, then 1, 1, then 2, that would help the listener to follow maybe a bit easier. As well as, I think there should be definitely much more distinction between this, like, small animal sidekick versus normal speaking voice. Like that, if you change it from like for a really high pitched one to a sort of, because her voice sounds low like mine, which is also nice to hear because I don't hear it often. But yeah, try to completely separate like the different ranges if you're doing two scenes, but maybe breaking them up might help in that.
And I did notice that. I think it was between the first and second one, or second or third. I don't remember. I just know that there was one point where I wasn't entirely sure whether the first one was over or not, because one of the voices sounded like very similar to one that was in the previous scene, and I wasn't sure whether they were the same character or not.
Right. I will say, if you wish to continue doing these type of scenarios where you have 2 characters within a 15-second segment, something I learned from Rob Paulson is don't be afraid to give characters their own little niche. Like Rob Paulson, for those who don't know, voices Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron.
Gee, Bright, what are we going to do tonight?
Yes, and he also does Pinky. But in Carl Weezer's voice specifically, he actually does something that I didn't catch right away. He once he explained it, though, I noticed a lot. But with his R's, he sticks his he curls his tongue back to the back of his throat, like, you know, when you say like I'm sorry, I'm out of
rodeo
car. There we go.
Oh, car.
You can feel, like, in an American accent anyways, that your tongue will hit like kind of the roof of your mouth, but more towards the middle of your mouth. He actually pushes it into the back of his mouth instead. For Renara, this won't apply because you don't pronounce that hard R. It's more like an AH. But
I'm just doing it under my breath right now.
it's just a very weird nuance. And I would say, in order to help differentiate your characters, don't be afraid to add those things in. The first scenario, your villainous voice had that kind of like raspiness to it, and then the heroine had more of a clear tone. That was perfect. I think that gives it enough distinction to know which character is which. But again, as you went on into the other scenarios, the distinction wasn't there as much. So, and again, I'm going to say this for the last time, I cannot speak too much on this because this is the first time I've been presented with a reel that has scenarios with 2 characters that you voice yourself. But if you could take away one thing from this, I would say try to give more distinction to your characters. Give them little bits of flavor to them, you know, like, yeah, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, let's go ahead and call it a day. Thank you for submitting those hosts, the recommendations that you put in. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, my time is up. It is shave time. And that is going to happen right now as soon as we sign off.
Renara, we're in pain.
For those of you that are here live to watch it, give me just a minute. Let's go ahead and do this. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you being live, watching us on YouTube or anywhere that you get your podcast. If you have any topic ideas or if you have any audio you want us to listen to, just like we did with these other wonderful people that put themselves out there, please submit it, ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com. We have a Discord. All the links will be available on here. You can go ahead and link on there. You can drop the audio. We'd be more than happy to listen to it, and we will give you constructive feedback. I think everything today was super healthy and super helpful. So, before we go, Renara, any last words?
One, just to say, for all of the people, demo reels that we've listened to today, there was parts of it that we loved for all of them. So we're all just any people in the voice act community, we are here for you. We are here we are going to be the cheerleaders in the background going, yes, go get those jobs, go do that, yes, because that's what we do, and that's what this community is all about, and I'm so here for it. Never give up, no matter what criticisms come your way. Take it, learn from it, and grow, because this is a journey. We are not nowhere near the end of it. And even when you get that AAA game, don't stop there. Keep going. Never stop. Learn to rest. Take some time. Look after yourself. But never give up. Never. Or we will come for you. No, I'm joking.
With that,
Oh, goodness.
thank you so much, everybody, and we will catch you all next time. All right, buddy. Bye-bye!
Drink water.
There it is.